Headline news most affecting Abbotsford this week. Transit drivers promising some job action should the contract talks break down. Decriminalization of certain drugs for personal use. That program started this past week. There is a call for an adult alert as well. Abbotsford's pride and joy, Bo Lokumbo, re-signs with the BC Lions. Josh will have more in sports. Our special guests this week include more on the vigil for an adult alert system. All right, Abbotsford, let's get started. The union representing Fraser Valley transit drivers are promising job action should the contract talks literally stall in the parking lot. Wages are the number one issue. Job action would affect the major routes, and drivers are right now not collecting fares. Now, there could be some minor disruptions for handy dart services as well. Starting this week, there will be no longer criminal penalties for adults aged 18 and over in BC who possess 2.5 grams or less of certain illegal drugs for their own personal use. Now, some exemptions do apply. Now, this means that instead of arresting, charging people, and seizing drugs, police will be offering information to people about local health and social supports, including treatment and recovery. Ironically, this comes as Fraser Health is warning of a chunky white substance that's on the streets right now, primarily carfentanil. Fraser Health is also not commenting about what's called gray fentanyl, the nickname death. It is a very potent drug on the street, resistant for at least 1 or 2 doses of naloxone to bring back an overdose victim. It has been a year and a half since Lena Durham began advocating to get a missing adult alert system in place in memory of her daughter. Yet, as she says, nothing's been done. Shailene Bell, a 23-year-old Chilliwack mom, went missing on January 30th, 2021. Her body was discovered in the Fraser River 6 months later near Coquitlam. This past week, there was a vigil, which is now a yearly vigil, at Townsend Park in Chilliwack. And again, family and friends were asking government officials to create an adult alert, similar to what Amber Alerts are for kids. Alina is convinced that such an alert system may have helped save her daughter. abbyTV was at the vigil.
So I'm standing here tonight with a commitment to honor my daughter, Shailene Bell, and pave the way for other families with a missing adult. In all due respect to our Public Safety Minister, Mr. Marco Mendicino, and our Public Safety Minister, Mike Farnworth, I am asking you to please seriously change the Amber Abduction Alert to have no age limit. Why is there no federal legislation? I'm asking you personally, Mr. Marco Mendicino, to please fast track this and help me to help other families with a missing adult. What is the holdup?
AgSafe BC have released Stronger Together on their YouTube channel. It's a mini documentary about the Sumas Prairie farmers that were affected by the November 2021 flooding that devastated many of the region's agricultural operators. The video is part of AgSafe's larger initiative. It's called Mental Wellness in Agriculture. It encourages producers to reach out for help and offer mental wellness resources for the ag community. The video made its premiere last week at the Pacific Agriculture Show that was at TradeX. Mission Mounties want to hear from you and get your opinion. Inspector Ted Luco inviting you to the Mission RCMP Policing Forum for your ideas and your opinions about how to make the community safer. The forum will take place February the 8th. It'll be a 6 p.m. start at Boswick Center. The 2023 Early Bird RV Show and Sales coming up February 16th to the 19th at TradeX. Your chance to get a look at what camping and glamping has for you this season. It's $15 to get in, $8 for parking. Organizers say that the net proceeds will be going to charity. The province is planning to build a new plant and animal health center in Abbotsford to provide diagnostic services and support with and for agricultural producers, as well as food safety. Although it has returned to near full operations, the current plant and animal health center in Sumas Prairie was severely damaged by the 2021 flooding and is at risk of future flooding. So a business plan is now prepared for a new facility that will provide enhanced animal and plant health services to BC producers. This in what they call a more secure setting. Back on January 25th, word came out that plumber Brian McCann had his truck broken into and $6,000 of his tools stolen. Well, that's his livelihood. Long story short, after learning about the sudden death of his dad, he tended to the family and forgot to take his tools out of his truck. A neighbor was watching the theft and called police, which took them about 35 minutes to respond. But in their defense, they were dealing with a serious assault, so manpower was simply lacking at the time. A GoFundMe has now been set up to help with recouping the expense of buying those tools. Just go to GoFundMe and use the keywords tools or Abbotsford. The current financial environment adding to what the COVID pandemic did to the arts economy, and the butterfly effect is there. On the heels of the closure of the long-standing Vancouver Folk Festival comes word of the closure of the annual Merritt Rockin' River Music Fest. Now, there is a group in Mission that's exploring the possibility of moving that show to the Mission Raceway track. Coming up in sports, Bo knows best. He re-signs with the Lions. Sports with Josh is next.
How's it going, everyone? Josh here with you once again with sports. That's what we do here. It's in the title. It's sports section. So let's jump into some sports because we got a lot to get into. Let's start with the BC Lions, who have locked up another key piece of their defensive unit and a local boy to boot, as linebacker Bo Lokumbo has signed a contract extension through the 2024 season. Lokumbo was eligible to become a free agent on February the 14th. Said Lokumbo from his home in Chilliwack, quote, "This franchise means so much to me, and it's exciting for me and my family to stay in the orange and black. Our linebacker room and the entire defense have raised their game to a higher level, and we are all looking forward to making even more plays in 2023, end quote. Born in the Congo and raised in Abbotsford, Bo was a standout with the Oregon Ducks before being drafted by the Lions, 21st overall in the 2013 CFL draft. He will return this spring for his 8th CFL season and his 7th with the hometown Lions after a solid 2022 campaign where he recorded 52 total tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pass knockdown in 13 regular season games. Bo was named a Western Division All-Star in his first full season in 2015 and the CFL's most outstanding Canadian in 2021. Let's move on now to the ongoing soap opera that is the Vancouver Canucks. In this week's episode, just as the NHL shuts down for the All-Star break, on Monday, Canucks GM Patrick Allvin announced that the team had acquired forward Anthony Bolivier, top prospect Atu Ratti, and a top 12 protected 2023 first-round draft pick from the New York Islanders in exchange for the former Canucks captain, Bo Horvat. This brings a resolution to the ongoing speculation and saga around Horvat, as last summer's massive extension of JT Miller and last week's extension of Andrei Kuzmenko made it nearly impossible for the Canucks to also extend their captain and stay under the salary cap. For his part, Bo made matters a little more difficult for the team by stepping up his game again this year, scoring a ridiculous rate that places him in the top 10 in the league. So, I don't know. We'll see how that return plays out. The Canucks drama goes on. Well, it was meant to be a secret, but their mayor kind of let it slip. The Pacific Junior Hockey League announced the approval of a new franchise for the city of Port Coquitlam, set to begin play in the 2023-2024 season. The last expansion was Chilliwack with the Jets, who got a little stalled on the runway for the 2020-2021 season, due to COVID, obviously, but were finally cleared for takeoff with the 2021-22 season at the Sardis Sports Complex in Chilliwack. While the new POCO franchise has yet to pick a team name, the club will play out of the newly renovated Port Coquitlam Community Center, making use of the John Bally Arena, which seats 780 spectators. This will be the PGHL's 14th franchise, with other local teams being the aforementioned Jets, the Abbotsford Pilots, and the Mission City Outlaws. Chilliwack Golf Club announced that Fraser Valley Golf Trail cards will be available at the Western Canada Golf Expo. The expo will be coming to the Abbotsford Tradex on February 24th and 25th and will feature a huge number of things going on, including a large demo range, seminar stage, lots of retail area, putting and long drive contests, a ton of different family activities, and over 50 exhibitors. There will also be a section on golf industry careers, so if you've ever thought about working in the golf industry, this might be your chance. Vancouver is one of the 16 host cities for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, but the city is facing a bill of $230 million in additional expenses as a result. So to help cover that shortfall, it was announced late last week that a temporary hotel tax will add 2.5% to every $100 paid on short-term accommodations starting this week and ending February 1st of 2023. 30. Vancouver is only expected to host 1 or 2 early round World Cup matches at BC Place Stadium in 2026. All right, that is all we've got for sports today. Thank you for tuning in as always. Have a great week, and we are going to now go with Cari with the weather.
abbyTV weekend weather with Cari Moore. Okay, it's Groundhog Day. We really don't care if the critter saw his shadow because that happens back east in Pennsylvania and Ontario. But do we have an early spring with the rain? It'll feel like it.
Thanks, Don. I'm not so sure about trusting a rodent and Groundhog Day and all that fun stuff, but you are right about the rain. It's going to be up to 9 degrees, down to about 5 throughout the weekend. By the end of the week, we're going to get a little chillier, but not so bad. Highs of 7 down to about 3. So you have a great week in the rain, Don, and I'm going to have one too. Back to you.
Thanks, Cari. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Abbotsford and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note or your videos or your pictures to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.